So I'm going to just quickly remind everybody what we've done. We looked at this idea of developing an altruistic motivation, familiarizing ourselves with positive states of mind, and learning that meditation is just another way of becoming familiar with what's inside the mind. It's not quite relaxation. And the purpose of meditation is so that we can actualize our potential. We looked at how to sit, and we looked at the difference between concentration and mindfulness. We worked on counting the breaths. They call this bare attention, when you notice the sensation of the air flowing in and out of the nostrils. And we looked at distractions. And then what else did we do? We looked at clarity of the mind, the continuity of the mind. And we looked a little bit about obstacles last week and our negative states of mind. So this week, putting 4 and 5 together. So we're looking at the meditation session and the meditation place. And we'll do a little bit of visualization meditation, which all of you are familiar with. So we're going to do some 9-round breathing. And then we'll finish, if we get there, a little bit of discussion about meditating in daily life, which seems to be that we've already done that. So let's get started. So just settle into your meditation posture. And, we worked on this before, the 7-point meditation posture. So at least you know it. I'll run through it again quickly. If you are sitting at your computer with the feet down about a hip's width apart, be sitting on top of your sits bones, shoulders aligned with the hips, and ears aligned with the shoulders, and imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just lengthen your spine. And breathe. Now, the idea here is just to put a little bit of length in the back of the neck and just drop the chin down. So we're not poking the head forward. And then the eyes would be, if they were open, they'd be looking along the length of the nose to a spot about, 2 inches ahead in front of you. And then the hands are just resting in the lap. And they can be in the meditation mudra, which is the right hand resting in the left, nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. And the tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. Just relax the jaw. And now bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the back of the tongue, the jaw, the back of the head. Relax the shoulders and the shoulder blades and all of your limbs. And just breathe. Take a nice breath. And as you're breathing, here we are as our bare attention. Just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. Notice the air as it flows over all those little hairs in the nostrils. Be aware of any sounds in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And I'm just going to pause for a moment. Just stay there in meditation. I need to check something. Right. And then notice what's arising in the mind. And just check the internal dialogue that's going on. So say, for example, Shayla mentioned that she's been feeling grumpy. We probably all have that as well. We probably all have that at times. It's really, really good that it's been recognized. So that's fantastic. So then for all of us, just try and put some space in between those thoughts. Slow it all down and check the reality of our stories. And just try and be objective, like an observer, noticing what is in the mind tonight, and guarantee it will change. It's probably different than it was this time last week. So some of you have mentioned about the shift, having a hard week with the full moon. So I'm feeling a little bit better now. So it's different than it was last week. So it's always good to remember it will change. And just put yourself on the bank of your river. So this requires some level of visualization. Just notice the quality of the water. And just remember that while you're sitting on the bank, you're free from that river. Let's bring to mind all the people of our life. So here in this particular meditation, this is the beginning of this meditation on equanimity, is the beginning of the meditation on developing bodhicitta. So we're trying to make all the people in our life. I get a sense of them being equal. Because right now we favor those that we love. So this morning we did a Tonglen meditation. So I don't know, some of you who were there, you may have noticed it was perhaps a little bit more difficult to do the Tonglen for the person who you didn't like. Bring to mind those ones you love, your beloveds, children, spouses, best friends. And then there's the strangers that, there's people, they're all over the place. So many strangers in our lives. We see different ones every single day. And then there's the ones we don't like that kind of irritate us. And they can all change place at any time, these relationships. This friend, this enemy, this stranger. But they're all equal and they wish to be happy, they wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So here we have done in just this first few little meditations. We've done a settling meditation. We've done a bare attention meditation. And even in sitting into the 7-point posture, that's also a meditation. That's kind of bringing ourselves inwards. And this is like a analytical and a visualization. This is part of the Lam Rim, this equanimity meditation. So I think we'll do this meditation session today, our last one together of this series. The benefit of all these people of our life and for ourselves as we're moving along our spiritual path. And just rejoice in your efforts turning up here this evening. It's right in the middle of dinner time for probably most people. So well done. And breathe. So now you can stay in meditation as I go through the next little bit. We're going to look a bit at this idea of the meditation session being separated into 4 parts. So we start with the preparation. But I think before the preparation, you want to think about the place in which you meditate. Now, some people they don't have a choice. They only have a bedroom. Because when we were all at Rinpoche's house, we really only had a bedroom that we could meditate in. Lama Yeshe used to say it's not ideal to meditate on your bed because that is where you sleep. And so all our associations are with sleeping and whatever else we do in bed. So that it's better to meditate in a place where you don't do other activities. Lama Yeshe used to say it was good to meditate in the bathroom because there's very little attachment to the things in the bathroom. But I also heard that Lama Yeshe used to meditate in the bathroom because it was really the only time where he was able to get any peace because he was so popular. People wanted to talk to him all the time. So you find yourself in a place where you can comfortably sit without being interrupted. A place that's quiet. Preferably, I know, lots of people have their pets with them in their meditation and they say it's preferable not to have your pets with you in your practice, although it is probably beneficial for them as well. So there is, I think for myself personally, I don't have any pets, but sometimes temptation for a pet is to want to come and sit on your lap, and that might be distracting for you. But for some people who have, maybe cats can be quite, if they want to come and sit with you, they're going to make sure you know about it until you let them. So sometimes I think we just have to be a bit flexible about the place where we are. So if you go away to go on retreat, you'll want to be in a place where other people have meditated before, so the energy is more conducive to meditation. But you can create that space in your own home. So they say you should have, like, if you have room for it, a separate space where you meditate and do your practice. And then it's set up and it's clean, and maybe you have some holy objects there, something to inspire you, pictures of your teachers, something like that. So there's a structure actually in our meditation. So we start the first one. So we, first of all, I've talked about having a conducive place to meditate. So there is a structure. So there's 4 parts. And you can add to this structure as you get more experience, but this is the basic structure. We're shifting gears when we sit down to meditate, right? So the first thing we do is like a sort of it's like a preparation. So you're shifting gears from being outward to being inward. So you're kind of turning yourself inward. You're just, you're no longer engaging with the world. You're engaging with yourself. So firstly, we sit down and we pay attention to what's going on with our body. So make yourself comfortable to sit in that 7-point meditation posture. Our bodies and our minds are very strongly connected, obviously. So we want to make sure we're comfortable so you're not disrupted. If you're not comfortable, it's going to be difficult for your mind to settle. So if you can't sit cross-legged on a cushion, for example, then don't do that. You do something else. If you need to sit with your feet down and you want a cushion underneath your feet, you can do that. If you are not very well and you can't sit up without leaning against the back of something, then you just have to do what works for you. So you have to, very important to find what works for your body. And so that when you settle the body, then you shift your attention to your mind and you prepare your mind for meditation. So we've done a number of different meditations and techniques for simply calming and settling the mind. And breathing meditation is very effective for this. So in other sessions, I think we've looked at breathing in for a count of 4, breathing out for a count of 4. So keeping the inhale and the exhale even. And focusing on the breath and using the breath to find a concentration. And these breath meditations help us calm the mind, get beyond those surface waves, all those kind of agitated thoughts that are flying around. So that one we did at the very beginning, bare attention, just focusing on the nostrils, the air flowing in and out, that's very effective. So you have to also remember, this is your meditation and this is your mind. So as we learn to meditate, we're learning to work with our own minds and apply what we've learned. So what might work for you on one day, it may not work on another, depending on your body, your mind, what's going on in your life at the time. So the second one is motivation. So once we've grounded ourselves and settled ourselves and turned ourselves a little bit inward, we think about a positive, try and generate a positive motivation. Try and orientate the mind with a positive intention and motivation for all intents and purposes. If our intention is positive, it's altruistic in nature, all of our actions flow from that. the words we speak, the physical actions that we do will also be positive in nature. And it's it's just a cycle. It just kind of revolves around on itself. The more positivity that's in your mind, the more positivity you're putting out, likely the more positivity that will return. So if you're constantly intending harm, you're feeling a little bit self-cherishing, you're probably going to be bringing yourself down, and as well as other people. Might result in unhappiness. So how your motivation for anything is very, very important. You'll probably notice even if you do something like a yoga class, the teacher will talk to you about your bhavana, your intention. And even if you come along today and all your intention was just, I'm just trying to calm my mind down. Been cranky all week, I need to calm down. And then we think beyond ourselves as well. And we think, I'm going to do this. I can become a better person, therefore people around me are going to benefit. So that's our second one. The third one is the actual meditation. So the meditation we're going to do in the session, whatever that might be. And if we're experiencing a lot of distraction, we might want to return to breathing meditation, to counting breaths, to 9-round breathing if we need to feel grounded. And you want to practice some of the other meditations or things that we've discussed in the course here, such as transforming negative into positive, or purification with light, or equanimity. And whatever we practice, whatever we've chosen for our particular session, the point is where we do it for however long we have designated. So with regard to how long we sit in our meditation session, it's very important to give this some thought and pay attention to how we feel when we sit and how we feel at the end of the session. We may enter into the meditation session with a lot of enthusiasm. But if we set ourselves a 30-minute session, for example, and our minds are really only ready for 5 minutes, by the time we reach 30 minutes, we're going to be exhausted and we might be annoyed, and we might want to go back and might not want to go back and sit on the cushion again. So as I said earlier, when you get up from your meditation, you really want to feel that you want to come back. You should always make your session a little bit too short, just barely too short, so that you want to come back and do it again. It's like you never quite got enough while you were there. So you feel happy to come back and try again tomorrow or later on in the day. So don't push yourself too hard as far as the length of the meditation sessions go. And we discussed that. Make them just long enough to feel like you want to come back, that your meditation session is beckoning you for your next session. And this is really the key to having a long-term meditation practice that allows you to truly go deep inside and develop your mind and really make changes. You know, it's also the support of your friends coming along to courses like this, coming along to the meditations. They're really only half an hour, but they're shorter than that because I spend a bit of time just getting everybody settled. And because it's guided, it's easier. And then the last part of the meditation session is dedication. So this is where it's almost like having two bookends, the motivation and the dedication. So due to the power of your motivation, the beginning, you maybe have generated a positive energy. And so now you've generated all this positive creative energy. What are you going to do with it? So your effort, even if you had a difficult meditation, your effort and your positive motivation together have created positive energy in your mind stream, particularly the effort if it's been difficult. So the purpose of dedication is you harness and direct that positive energy. It's kind of a way of sealing it or channeling it so that you and others can reap the great benefits from it. So you generate this really positive energy. If you don't dedicate it, it might just kind of, it's like when you do some of these energetic practices like Qigong or something, if you don't do them exactly correctly, the energy just flies out everywhere. And you might have sort of temporary good experiences, but nothing profound, nothing ongoing. So dedication helps us to direct that positive energy so that you can get the most out of the practice in the most significant way. And this energy kind of ripens in positive and meaningful ways in your own life and in the world. So you can just imagine you're sending out all of that positive energy. I mean, this is how prayer flags work. It's these beautiful mantras just blown by the wind, caught by the wind, and just blown out into the universe. It's very, very powerful. It's also a practice of generosity. You can think of your dedications as prayers, wishes, however you like, and think big, be generous, and think of many positive ways that energy might ripen and manifest in the world, and dedicate for those things, people who are sick, or even the ones you don't know, people who are hungry, people who are in war zones, people who are still held hostage in Gaza, people who just want to be in peace, but they're in war, people who have harmful minds and harmful thoughts, people who are just desperate to have love instead of anger. And dedicate also so that you might be the person who can make all of this happen. You want to think big. So these are the 4 parts: your preparation, calming the mind, generating a positive motivation, the meditation practice, and concluding with the dedication. So you can add different sorts of elements to your meditation as time goes on, as you learn more about Buddhist practice or another spiritual path. But this is just the 4 basic parts. And that ensures that your meditation session is effective and beneficial, even if it's only 2 minutes. Okay, everyone. Does anyone have anything they want to say about that? Anything? Any questions? You probably already knew all of that anyway, but we just reviewed it because it's in the course. But now we're actually going to do some meditations, and it's likely what I want to do is going to take us to the end of the session. I want to start with a 9-round breathing. Then there's a couple of meditations that we've all been doing in the morning. One of them is the body of light and simple purification. So we'll do those. So are you all up for those? Some of you have done them with me before, some of you haven't. And if we have time, maybe we can do Medicine Buddha or Tara. Just see how much time we've got left. Okay. All right. Just get settled. So let's just settle ourselves into our meditation posture. Just wanted to, Medicine Buddha. All right, someone's already made that request. Okay. Medicine Buddha coming up. There you go, Mary. You've got your American Indian shawl on there. Is that right? It looks like it came from Taos. Beautiful. Okay. What are the indigenous tribe there? What are they called?
They're from the Taos Pueblo.
Okay, we're the Miwok over here in our area.
They're Tewa, Tewa.
Okay, Tewa. Okay, thank you. All right, so has everyone here done the 9-round breathing with me? If you haven't done it, let me know. but we'll start. Okay, so I won't be mirroring you. I'm going to be opposite to you, but I'll talk you through the first one, and then we can do it in our own time. Okay, so start by, you might want some tissues beside you, but you'll probably be okay. So get yourself nice and settled and go inwards. We've done our meditation. Most of you probably already are quite settled. Just make sure you're nice, you're lengthened, you're aligned, and you're relaxed as well. And if you start to feel you're getting a bit distracted, you can bring your attention down to your feet. If you're sitting in a cross-legged position, you can bring your attention to your belly. So now imagine you're breathing in through the right nostril. Keep the left nostril closed. Blissful, radiant white light. Pausing at the top of the breath, and then breathe out through your left nostril all your unhealthy attachment and desire energy, anxiety, neediness. And it leaves the body as thick black, yucky smoke. And we'll do this 2 more times. And then breathe out all that anxiety and attachment, grasping. One more time. Breathe in through the right, blissful, radiant white light. Breathe out through the left, all your attachment energy. And breathe in now through the left nostril, blissful, radiant white light. Pausing at the top of the breath, and breathe out through the right, all your anger energy, grudges, disappointments, bitterness, jealousy. Just breathe it all out. Thick, black, yucky smoke. And breathe in through the left. And breathe out all your anger, hatred, jealousy, thick black, yucky smoke. Breathe in again. And breathe out. Now breathe in through both nostrils. Blissful, radiant white light. Pausing at the top of the breath, and then breathe out all of your ignorance energy. Ignorance of not knowing the way things truly exist. Ignorance of not knowing or understanding or appreciating karma, cause and effect. This natural law. Breathe in again. Blissful, radiant white light. Pause at the top of the breath, and then breathe out all your ignorance energy as thick, black, yucky smoke, and it disappears into space. Not one atom left. And then one more time. And pause at the top of the breath, and then exhale all your ignorance energy. Now we'll do 2 more rounds in your own time. If you wish, what helps me to feel a bit more grounded is to count the inhale and the exhale. So you can count maybe 3 or 4, whatever you are able to do. Some of you might be able to do longer inhalation, exhalation. So 2 more rounds in your own time, starting by breathing in through the right nostril. Okay, just stay in that meditative space. If you feel like you need to shift, move your body, take a sip of water, you can do that now. Just make sure you're comfortable. But just notice as you move what actually happens to the mind. This is why I think Goenka tries to train his people to stay still, because it does, when you become quite subtle in the mind, it does, just like the energy of the body kind of moving seems to kind of disrupt the quietude of the mind somehow. So if you can stay still, it's helpful. And then just for the moment, just feel, compare where you are now to where you were at the beginning of this session. So this is our very sweet body of light meditation. We haven't done it for quite some time. So you can just imagine above the crown of your head a sphere of white light. It's a little bit smaller than the size of your head, and it's pure and transcendental, non-material. It's transparent. It's radiant. So just we'll meditate for a couple of minutes on the presence of this light. Really feel it's there. And if it doesn't appear sharply, it's just enough to know that it is there, to feel that it's there. And just think that this sphere of light represents all the universal goodness, love, and wisdom, the fulfillment of your own highest potential. Now imagine this sphere of white light decreases in size until it's about 1 inch in diameter. And it descends through the crown of your head to your heart chakra. And from there, it begins to expand once again and slowly spreads out to fill your entire body. And as it does, all the solid parts of your body dissolve and become light. Your organs, your bones, the blood vessels, tissues, skin, all the little hairs on your arms and legs and body, all become pure, transcendental, translucent, white light. So just continue to focus on this experience of your body as this body of light. And think that all your problems, all negativities and hindrances, all grumpiness, crankiness, all completely vanished. And that you have reached a state of wholeness and perfection. You just feel serene and joyful. And if any thought or distracting object should appear in your mind, you can also let that dissolve into white light. So this is also a good tool to use in your own meditation as well. You know, if you find you're very distracted and bringing your mind back to the breath isn't working, or various things aren't working, you can also try dissolving your distractions into white light. So, you know, Jane mentioned hunger was an issue for her in the morning. So maybe dissolving all the delicious breakfast foods that are coming to mind into white light. So just dissolving the distractions into light. We just meditate like this for a couple more minutes. Sorry, I was talking and I was muted. So you've had this experience of this ball of white light above the crown of your head. And so now you have this blue Buddha above the crown of your head. couple of inches above your head, facing the same way as you, sitting on a moon disk. And this is resting in the center of an open lotus. He has his legs crossed in the full Vajra, full lotus posture, and it's facing the same way as you are, as I said. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. His body is made of this beautiful blue light, the color of a sapphire. It's kind of crystal, it's bright, it's luminous. Every aspect of this visualization is made of light and radiates light. And his right hand is resting on his right knee in the gesture of granting sublime realization. So it's the back of the hand. And his thumb and forefinger touching, they're holding a medicine plant. His left hand is resting in his lap in the gesture of concentration and holds a bowl filled with the nectar, and he's wearing these 3 robes of a monk. And he has all the signs and marks of a fully enlightened Buddha. His face is peaceful and smiling, and he's looking at all living beings in the universe with compassion and loving kindness. So we'll spend a couple of minutes contemplating this image of this Buddha above the crown of our head, to really try and get a sense that this Buddha is actually there. You can feel the presence of this healing Buddha. And so this is why they suggest, bring to mind a teacher of yours, Buddhist teacher, a meditation teacher, someone who's touched your heart, because it becomes a little bit more personal. You can really know what that person sounds like, what they look like, and you can imagine them on the crown of your head in this medicine Buddha form. So we can do a little refuge prayer. I'll go for refuge until I'm enlightened, to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. And we'll do the 4 immeasurable thoughts. So this also helps us develop a little bit of compassion. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment and anger that hold some close and others distant. So we'll do the prayer to the medicine Buddha 3 times. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, medicine guru, king of sapphire light, I prostrate, go for refuge and make offerings. May your vow to benefit sentient beings now ripen for myself and others. To the Bhagawan Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, medicine guru, king of sapphire light, I prostrate, go for refuge, and make offerings. May your vow to benefit sentient beings now ripen for myself and others. To the Bhagawan Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, medicine guru, king of sapphire light, I prostrate, go for refuge, and make offerings. May your vow to benefit sentient beings now ripen for myself and others. So now imagine infinite rays of radiant white light flowing down from the heart and body of the medicine Buddha. And just imagine that this light fills your body and purifies all disease and afflictions due to spirits or black magic. This is what's written in the text. As well as the cause of these problems, all of your negative karma, your delusions, and mental obscurations. So in India and Nepal, they're very aware of other beings other than the human beings and the animals, the ones we can see. They're also very aware that some of those beings can cause harm. So although I have not ever seen anything like that myself, I understand it exists. So they talk about that anyway. So anyway, what we're trying to get rid of all of our kind of negativities and illnesses, etc., etc. So imagine all these negativities leave your body in the form of this thick black liquid like engine oil, and your body becomes clean and clear as crystal. And you can also imagine that all other beings are being purified in the same way as we recite the mantra. Om Jaya Tam Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze Raja Samangate So Jaya Tam Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze, Bekanze, Raja Samangate So, Tayatal, Bekanze, Bekanze, Mahabekanze, Bekanze, Raja Samangate So. Tayatal, Bekanze, Bekanze, Mahabekanze, Bekanze, Raja Samagate 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 So. Now imagine, we're going to recite the mantra again, and just imagine white light flowing from the medicine Buddha again and filling your body, bringing all the realizations of the path to enlightenment and all the qualities of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And you can imagine the same thing happening to all those beings of your life, your loved ones, the ones you don't like, and the strangers. And feel that you and all the beings actually receive all these excellent qualities, and that we're receiving the inspiration and the blessings of the medicine Buddha. Oi taya taom bekanze bekanze ma bekanze bekanze raja samangate soa taya taom bekanze bekanze ma bekanze bekanze Raja samangate so taya taom bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze Raja samangate so taya taom bekanze bekanze Maha bekanze bekanze raja samangate soham taya tahom bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samangate soham Taya taom bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samangate soha Taya taom bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze Raja samangate soham. Now let's visualize the medicine Buddha melting into light. So he's above the crown of your head and just dissolves into you through the crown of your head and absorbs into your heart chakra. And just imagine that your mind becomes one with all the enlightened minds of all the Buddhas. So let your mind rest there for a while in a state that's completely clear and peaceful and free from its usual busy thoughts and conceptions. So we'll just recite the mantra first, and then you can imagine that. Excuse me. Oi taya taom bekanze bekanze Mahabekanje, Bekanje, Raja Samangate Soham, Taya Tao, Bekanje, Bekanje, Mahabekanje, Bekanje, Raja Samangate Soham, Taya Tao, Bekanje, Bekanje, Mahabekanje, Bekanje, Raja Samangate Soa, Taya Tao, Bekanje, Bekanje, Mahabekanje, Bekanje, Raja Samangate Soham, Taya Tao, Bekanje, Bekanje, Mahabekanje, Bekanje, Raja Samangate Soham, Taya Tao, Bekanje, Bekanje, Mahabekanje, Bekanje, Raja Samangate Soham, Taya Tao, Bekanje, Bekanje, Mahabekanje, Bekanje, Raja Samangate Soham. So this completely clear and peaceful state that's free of busy thoughts, this is your true nature. This is who you really are. So as we come towards the end of this session and the end of this series, we'll try and bring ourselves back in to our body from wherever we've come, wherever we've gone. So if you have kind of disappeared somewhere, just very gently bring your mind back. Feel the weight of your feet on the floor, the weight of your hands in your lap, the weight of the sits bones in the chair. A nice deep breath. And very slowly, when you're ready, just open your eyes. I hope no one's going to drive anywhere after this. I think it's best to stay home. Those of you on the East Coast can probably crawl into bed after Vajrasattva. Half an hour. So we have a few minutes. Does anybody have anything they would like to share before we go, before we do our dedication? Yes, Jay. Go ahead, Jay. Mary has something to say as well. Okay.
Sorry, got it.
Jay,
Okay.
you first, then Mary.
Yep, okay. Sorry about that. Um, okay, so I've got a question. The image you have, the image you've got that you're using for the medicine Buddha, is it possible for us to access that? I've got a couple.
I don't know where I got it online. So
Okay.
I probably could share it with you. Yes, and actually, if you go online and I would just be careful about where you share it. Like don't print postcards and start selling them,
No,
for
no, no, no,
example.
no, no,
Um, but there are many. If you like that one, I can maybe organize for people to get it. The other thing is you can just go on to Google Medicine Buddha, and you'll find a lot of different images. So you might find that one, you might find others that you like even better. But if you don't, I probably don't want to spend time doing that now.
no, no,
But
no.
next time I can maybe make it, yeah, make it
Cool.
available. Okay, no
Thank
worries. Mary, did you? Thanks,
no,
Jay.
no, no, I've got more.
Oh, okay. And we got
Okay,
like 6 minutes left. So,
I'll be quick. Uh, One of the things that happens for me is when we talk about it's very reinforcing. Yes, what I do can impact on everyone, right? I can lead them all to Buddhahood. Arrogance comes in. What do you do about arrogance?
well, it's pride, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a delusion. Um, what exactly happens in the mind? It's like you get a little bit puffed up. Oh yeah, I'm gonna like you start to feel
I
better
have,
than
that
start
would be a weakness of mine, right?
a what?
A weakness of mine. It's the opposite of, I have a sense of inferiority. I also have a sense that I can do everything, right?
Well, I
So,
don't know that a lot of us feel that we should be able to do everything or that we can do everything. And it might be you may have you might have capacity to do lots of different things. Um, the danger, I think, comes in that particular instance is when you think you're better than everyone else. And therefore, that puts you in a position to be a leader, like some politicians over here. I won't name. But the opposite of pride, one of the things to do with pride is to think of people who are actually more qualified than yourself. So you might think that you're a really good pianist. And so then what you would do is think of someone who is actually a better pianist than you. And that just kind of helps to kind of put things into perspective. And my grandmother used to always say to me, there's always going to be people who are better at something than you and who are not as good as something at you as you. She always would say that to me just to kind of keep my head straight. So
lovely.
yeah, so that you could start with that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I hope that helps. But I think you don't come across as an arrogant or prideful person. So I'm wondering if you've actually got that particular delusion, uh, if you're labeling it correctly. Might be something else going
I
on.
think it's only when I go to the place of, okay, I'm going to bring everybody to Buddhahood. Okay. When I, when, which, I mean, it's a sensitive thing because you want to have that positive thought that, and it also motivates you. And it is true, ultimately, I do have a responsibility to do that. But it slips a little bit to me into the area of arrogance. And that's something I'm just trying to balance.
Okay.
That's all.
So just watch it, keep an eye on it. And I think what you'll find is the deeper you get into your practice, the more that will drop away because you'll realize that's quite a big task. You can imagine just trying to be the president of the United States. I used to feel so sorry for Obama. it was just like he would make so light of it, you know, he was so funny. But when I look at the difference in the Obama before he started being president, and then when he was finished 8 years later, he looks quite a bit older. So I think it's quite a big task to look after lots and lots of different people. I have enough trouble just looking after myself. So, yeah. Or maybe you could start by imagining what it'd be like to look after a family of 10 children. You could start there. Anyone who's known a large family, it's chaos. Anyway, something like that. Mary, we've got 2 minutes left.
Oh, I just wanted to have a correction for the recording that the Taos Pueblo is TIWA.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think when I did my citizenship exam, I remembered that particular group. They gave us a list of them. So everybody, we've come to the end of this series. It's been so wonderful to have you all here again. I do love meditating with you all. And so thank you very much for coming along and joining me. Rachel, it's been very nice to meet you. So thank you very much. And I hope to see you again. And do join us for anything else, you know, if you have time. It'd be wonderful to see you. Thank you, Phyllis and Marion and Jay, of course, Kimberly in Canada, and Shayla, Susan, Lou, our beautiful host, and Mary. So thank you all very, very much. So let's just dedicate all the positive energy we've created, not only today in all those different meditations, but the whole course. I hope you've been able to learn something, that you've actually got something out of it, and just dedicate all that positive energy, with generosity and kindness and love to all these people of your life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And then, of course, to yourselves as you're moving along your spiritual path. And then just think for the long and healthy life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and of course for your own teachers to have a long life. All right, everybody, I am going to run off and have a bite to eat before the next meditation. Okay, everyone, thank you so much. Lots of love. I hope you learned something. I certainly do. Every time I do these courses, I learn a little bit more. So I find it extremely useful. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Okay, and bye-bye, Tomcat.